Okay, let's go over the practice quiz, how to do this. Question number 1. So you're going to have a quiz on Friday. It's going to be similar to this, so please pay attention and study this. So we have x squared plus 2x equals 6. We know, because x squared is positive, that it's going to be a happy face parabola. We also know if we take that 2 and bring it to the other side, we get x squared equals 4. So x equals plus or minus 2 when you take the square root. So if we look through these parabolas here, which one's a happy face? Well, this one isn't, so that's out. Now which one has negative 2 and 2 for the intercepts? And that's this one here. So we would choose choice C. These intercepts are wrong. This has no intercepts. It does not cross the x-axis. Moving on to question number 2. So if we look at this question, we're not going to solve it by graphing. We're going to solve it by using algebra. And this is one of the square root questions. It tells you to use square roots. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. And our goal is to get the square root by itself. When we do that, we get 7x squared equals 7. Divide by 7. And we get x squared equals 1. And when we take the square root of both sides, we get x equals plus or minus 1. So that would be choice D on this question. Okay, moving on to the next page, question number 3. We have the area, and that should be an equal sign, 53 square inches. Well, we know the area of a triangle, or you should know the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. In our case, the 53 should equal to 1/2 the x times the x, since the base and height are both x. This translates into this question, 53 is equal to 1/2 x squared. And now we can divide or multiply both sides by 2. So we want to get rid of this half. So multiply both sides by 2, or divide by 1/2, same thing, and we get 116 equals x squared. And then we're going to go to our calculator and get an answer. Well, since 12 squared is 144, 10 squared is 100, I got to go with this answer here, 10.3. If I were to use my calculator, it should come out to be the same answer as letter B for number 3. Okay, moving on to number 4. So number 4 says solve by factoring. So I'm going to take this z squared minus 6z minus 27 equals 0 and solve it by factoring. Okay, that means we're going to break it up into parentheses. And since there's a 1 here, I can go right to my chart and say negative 27, factors of negative 27 that add up to negative 6. Well, right away, I'm thinking 9 and 3, and the 9 has to be negative and the 3 has to be positive. So I could come over here and write my answer, z minus 9, z plus 3. But remember, it's equal to 0. So that gives us two situations, z minus 9 equals 0, or z plus 3 equals 0. And in the end, z could equal 9, or if I subtract 3 from both sides, z can equal negative 3. So that would be choice letter C for number 4. Okay, moving on to number 5. Okay, number 5, there's different ways to solve this. I'm going to solve this the long way, the long method, because most people know the long method. Okay, the long method says multiply the first and the last. So that's going to be negative 18. And we're looking for the factors of negative 18 that add up to 3. Okay, so 2 and 9 don't work, but 6 and 3 do. And we want it to be negative 18 and add up to positive 3. So we're going to use 6 and negative 3. So the next step in this is we're going to rewrite this original question, 3z squared. Instead of writing 3x, we're going to write plus 6z minus 3z minus 6 equals 0. Now we're going to do our steps here and just group it up. And we're going to take out a 3z here, 3z here, and you're going to get z plus 2. Over here I'm going to take out a negative 3, and I'm going to get z plus 2. Then I'm going to, so it's still equal to 0. Now I'm going to answer my question. It's 3z minus 3 times z plus 2 equals 0. And then, once again, the sixth step is to take these two groups and set them equal to 0. And when I do that, I'm going to get 3z equals 3, and divide by 3, and z equals 1. Over here I'm going to subtract 2, I'm going to get z equals negative 2. If I look at my answers, 1 and 2, 1 and negative 2, 1 and negative 2, that looks like answer A for 5. That is correct. Okay, number 6 is a little trickier than the other ones. This one you're gonna have to do a little trickier. We're gonna just factor out a c here, and we get c minus 4 equals 0, and then we're gonna easily group this to c equals 0 or c minus 4 equals 0, otherwise known as c equals 4. So this is could be a tough one for people, but factor first, and then you get 0 and 4, and that is choice C for number 6. Okay, number 7 says solve using the quadratic formula. You will have to memorize the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and the whole thing over 2a. So for number 7, if we look at 2a squared minus 46a plus 252 equals 0, we have to identify a, b, and c. This is a, this is b, and this is c. And you're going to use a calculator for this at this point. So a equals 2, b equals negative 46, and c equals 252. Okay, so what is 2a? Well, 2a is just 4. 2 times 2 is 4. What is b squared? Well, that's negative 46 squared. That's b squared. And negative b is going to just be, well, I should do this. Do it this way. So negative b is going to be 46. B squared is going to be negative 46 squared. And then 4ac is going to be 4 times 2. Pretty big numbers here we're working with. And what we're going to eventually do here is put it all together into the formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what's going to happen is, okay, so we're going to plug in our values here for everything. So if we if we start with x equals negative b, so negative b is right here, that's 46. Be careful, 46. Plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is negative 46 squared, minus 4ac, which would be, this is 8 times 252, so 4 times 2 times 252, all over 2 times a, which is 4. So you'll have to figure this out on your calculator, and what you would get is, which question is this? For number 7, the answer is C. B for an answer for this one. Okay, number 8 should be a quick answer. It tells you that the company manufactured beach ball, which the surface area is 7,238. That's the area in this formula. Use the formula 4 pi r squared to figure out the area, or the area surface area, sorry, in A, the surface area, to figure out r. So we have to solve this equation here, 4r squared. So we're going to divide both sides by 4 pi, and make sure you put that in parentheses. And of course, afterwards, you're going to take the square root of both sides, and you should get, for number 8, should equal, well, equals plus or minus around 24 inches, but we're going to go with the plus 24 inches for the answer. Okay, the last question asks to use the quadratic formula again to the nearest hundredth. So again, write down the quadratic formula. X equals plus or minus, I'm sorry, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and then that whole thing is over 2a. So we're going to take our 7x squared minus 16x minus 28 equals 0, and we have to figure out what a, b, and c are. In this case, a is 7, b is negative 16, c is negative 28. Okay, we're going to put them into the formula, but I'd like to figure out what all the aspects of the formula are first. So let's go with 2a is 14. Negative b is 16, so it was negative, now it's positive. B squared is 16, or negative 16 squared. And 4ac is 4 times 7 times negative 28. 4 times 7 times negative 28 is 4ac. Ends up being 28, negative 28, 28. Okay, so then you're going to put all the aspects into the formula. You have the formula up here, put them in there. So now, and so x equals negative b, so that's the 16, I put that there, plus or minus square root of b squared, so that's negative 16 squared, minus a minus all over 2a, this is going to turn into x equals 16 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 squared plus 28 squared all over 14. And then when we figure that out, it should equal, so, well, x equals 16 plus square root of negative 16 squared plus 28 squared over 14, or x equals 16 minus square root of negative 16 squared, 8 squared over 4. This answer is going to be x equals, one is 3.45, and the other one is negative 1.16. Make sure you know how to do these questions. Quiz.